Welcome back, guys. Bitcoin Cash is on a rampage at the moment. It's already started, where on Reddit people are calling it the Cashening, which, if you're not sure, Ethereum has the flippening, where Ethereum's market cap would overtake Bitcoin's. They'd call that the flippening. The Litecoin version is called the flappening. I don't know why. Their mascot seems to be a chicken. And now we have Bitcoin Cash's the Cashening. Let me explain why I don't think that's going to happen and have a look at why this is blowing up so much in the last 24 hours. So Bitcoin Cash recently peaked at 550 down to 500 right now, 510. And if you have a look at the markets, 650 million almost dollars in and out of an exchange in the last 24 hours. Koreans mainly. Almost 40% of the volume in BitThumb alone. But then there are other Korean exchanges with 7% and 6% respectively. So around 50% of the volume of Bitcoin Cash is in Korean exchanges. Apparently, they really like it over there today. This has most likely led to the inclusion of BitThumb opening customer service desks. Yeah, for crypto. So people can speak to someone about their problems. I wonder how that would be. I personally would be pretty excited to talk to someone in person about my crypto. But then again, if I'm saying, where is it? I can imagine that not being a great environment. It depends. But the really interesting thing that's happening now because of Bitcoin Cash's valuation. If you have a look at this picture, Blockchain Overview is stating that if you were to mine on Bitcoin's network or you were to mine on Bitcoin Cash's network, the reward is the exact same. There's no one more profitable chain than the other, which is the first time this has happened. And we have seen in the past that the hash power directly contributes to the price of a coin. This is why people are talking about the cashening happening. The cash, yeah, that sounds weird. Now, how did this happen? Bitcoin implements a beautiful code in which when blocks are forming too quickly or blocks are taking too long to form, the difficulty adjusts automatically. So because there wasn't much hash power behind Bitcoin Cash, the difficulty to create the blocks or the difficulty for the miners to get the reward was greatly lowered. So if people start moving their hash power from the Bitcoin network to the Bitcoin Cash's network, obviously the hash power is going to go up and eventually Bitcoin Cash's difficulty will correct itself and it won't be as profitable. And even if we have achieved parity and there's no one clear winner, we already have seen that miners prefer to mine on the Bitcoin network. They've already shown that. And there are plenty of good reasons for that. Essentially, the main one being the market has chosen the Bitcoin network over the Bitcoin Cash network. Now, here's the truth of it. There is nothing sufficiently better than Bitcoin to overcome the network effect or the first mover advantage which Bitcoin currently holds. Now, I'm aware that when I have a look at the market, I obscure a few of these coins and I need to get out of the way. But then I feel like a weather forecast prediction saying, spells of green in Bitcoin Cash, however from NEM down to Omai's Go, spells of red. But if we do have a look and we go down, we can see a lot of red. Very few green. There are only one or two coins that have shown a lot of growth, that being Binance Coin, 0x, a lot of red, and Quantum Resistant Ledger with pretty much everything else on the down. And I know it can be scary to see that, especially if you only recently bought those coins. However, from a speculator's point of view, a lot of them like to move in when things are down, not when they're doing well. So it's a good day for them. It's just like when it's raining. It's not a good day for you unless you like rain, but if you're a plant, hallelujah. Now, I thought I'd share this with you because there's some very interesting points raised. A post on Reddit, after trying to time the market by buying and selling repeatedly and failing miserably, I have a new strategy. Now, I'm not a accredited financial advisor, so I can't financially advise you. However, the good folks of Reddit seem to be able to do so. Some of their top tips. If you're trying to buy crypto right now, potentially don't move all in at once. Buy every week, every month, that which you're willing to lose should everything fall. But if everything did fall, at least you didn't put everything into it. Pro tip number 2, if you're day trading, you need to calculate whether or not you would have made more money simply holding Bitcoin. Because at least for the moment, it seems like you would have done. At least unless you're making a lot of money day trading. Remember, 90% of people lose money day trading. 10% do. Out of that 10%, only 1% can do so consistently. The reason for it is it's just really hard to know what's going to happen. No one does. But try not to be like this guy, because that could definitely happen. And there's an article on CoinDesk by a guy who invested heavily in gold and essentially missed the Bitcoin train, talking about how you shouldn't buy Bitcoin. It's about to pop. I'm not going to waste your time reading it. Essentially, he's saying Bitcoin is not valuable because people aren't using it, and dollars are valuable because they are. That's true to some degree, but look how fast Bitcoin is blowing up in terms of media attention and more people using it. It is early days. You can't compare something in its infancy to something that's been around forever and expect it to be the same straight away. We are moving really quickly there though. However, he does end this interview with an interesting point. While it may be disappointing to members of the crypto community to hear such criticisms, it is. Schiff said he is still very sympathetic to the idea of a free market alternative to fiat currencies, and would very much like to see something that compete with the US dollar and the yen as a reserve currency. Well then, isn't that interesting? Now, you know that article that we talked about yesterday? I've shown this website before, but it's still funny. Bitcoin obituaries. Ever since 2015, this website's been collecting people who have posted Bitcoin is dead or Bitcoin's a bubble. Ever since 2015, over 150 times now. The article yesterday being number 150. When are they going to learn? On to the news. Australia is taking aim at cryptocurrencies with a new money laundering bill. Okay, so here's the thing. This is going to happen. Institutions that currently benefit from the way fiat works and don't want that to change, and something that comes along that threatens it, they're going to try and stop. Now, of course, terrorism funding is a terrible thing. It's not something that any of us want to see, hopefully. You can't look at something and criticize it for its worst use case scenario. There is a lot of good that it could do. That would be like saying, knives kill people, ban all knives. Or guns kill people, ban all guns. Wait, that's not actually too bad of an idea. Moving on. Let's look at the example of weed being legalized in the United States. There are plenty of reasons why that might happen. However, in my mind, number one reason is that the government can massively profit off it. So they're incentivized to do so. Now, at the end of this post, it does say that there are a few legislators in Australia that want to see Bitcoin named as an official currency. Now, if you think about it, if a country was to legalize it and it to be an official currency that it can be accepted everywhere, would that help the economy? People would start using Bitcoin and shops would keep their money and store it in Bitcoin. Would that be good for the economy? It would have been crazy for the economy if they would have done this a few years ago. Mental. Countries are missing out. I'm not sure why this hasn't happened already. I mean, just look at the previous price action of Bitcoin. Now, previous past activity is not an indication of future activity. I know that, but would they have made huge amounts of money? Yes. Would they continue to do so? I mean, come on. It's pretty obvious they would. Eventually, it's going to happen. Now, I woke up this morning and I felt a bit like Napa.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about its
Subscribers.
It's over 9,000! What, 9,000?
Sorry, guys, I had to do it. But my oh my, are we all going to get sick of that meme when Bitcoin's over 9,000? Thank you very much for this milestone. I really appreciate everyone that's coming to the channel, all your comments, all your likes. Very heartwarming. I really do enjoy reading comments. Thank you very much. I will see you guys in the next one.